Three, two, one, and we're live.
Good morning, world, and welcome to MAlex in the Morning, your weekly 1 hour pit stop for counterculture controversy and our opinions. Forged by logic and wielded by your host, me, Mally J, and my bro, Alex X Cal. Say what's up to the people, brother.
Hey, what's good, y'all? This is episode 3. Last episode we had was called The Start of Controversy, and we're going to keep that trend going, So, like we said before, just tune in, have a good time, and let us know what you think. So, as we always do, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Last week's episode was about an hour and 20 minutes, so if you have time on your commute or you just want to chill out and put some things on your mind to make you think, tune in for that. We talked about the phenomenon known as cognitive dissonance. We also talked about collective victimhood and how certain movements hijack people's sense of oppression to accomplish their objectives while leaving those groups out to dry in the end of the day. There's a pretty good episode, pretty good topics. We're going to be rolling into some things this week that are new. And so just rock with us for about an hour and a half, and we'll try to hold your ear.
Yeah, so with that being said, can you hit them with the disclaimer?
Absolutely. Now, before we get into today's episode, as always, we are required to say the views expressed herein are those of the host and theirs alone. They are subject to change as we are not staunchly committed to any one opinion and are always learning and growing. We are not for everyone. If you are offended easily, allergic to logic, or believe that life should be an echo chamber and you can't entertain, not accept, but entertain thoughts that challenge your accepted ideology, log off now, delete your download, and never come back.
Well, as usual, that's our disclaimer for you. All right. So, there's been a lot of things that happened since the last episode. So we're gonna try to touch on each one of them for as much as we can. It's not going in too hard at the beginning and seeing where it goes from there, So, I'll ask a question. You got any curveballs for me or anything?
I do. I'm looking at the complete book of questions, which is different from the book of questions by Dr. Gregory Stock, one of my favorite books of all time. And
okay,
I'm looking at question 549. This is by a guy named Poole, if I'm not mistaken. And question 549 says, what's the best approach for resolving conflict?
Oh man, so that's a good question. In my opinion, the best approach to solving conflict, and this is gonna suck because I'm gonna kind of steal something that that both of us say, but is to seek understanding. Seek to understand.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, seek to understand the person you're talking to before you seek to be understood. So, and what I mean by that is, right, before you want people to understand your point, like before you want somebody to listen to what you have to say, hear your opinion, and change their mentality on what they are thinking on that topic, what you need to do is to understand where they're coming from. Coming from their point of view and why they think the way they think. You know what I'm saying? It boils down to doing that, because before you do that, if you don't do that, you're gonna just have two people that just want to be understood, don't care about what the other is saying, and it's just going to be a yelling fest. Like, nothing ever will get resolved if you do not understand your opponents or opposition or whatever you want to call it, the person you're debating or conflicting with, if you don't understand their point of view. Because, and if you don't try to do it, it's in a sense selfish. Like, even if you understand their point of view and their point of view is literally just wrong, at least you sought to understand it before you just tell them it's wrong. I'm gonna go in for a little bit more, right?
Go ahead, do it yourself.
I recently had a conversation with a good friend of mine who is a Christian, and I asked him a question that maybe we'll touch on later. But I asked him a question. The question, why is the Bible a valid source of information? Right? Because in my opinion, it's just a book written by some people. So if you believe anything that's written in a book by people, then Harry Potter is true. All the Star Wars books are true. Lord of the Rings books are true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and my thing was, what makes this anything different? We're skeptical about history books, but we take this one book, this one special book, the Bible, and say, well, this one we're not skeptical or anything like that. And he gave me a like most people, they say, well, it's just the Bible, you got to believe it, and it's like, that's not legitimate to me. That's not a legitimate stance. But he gave me full breakdown on why he thinks it is a valid source of information, and it was like prophecy and things he see that's happening today that were prophesized back then. And then I was like, okay, give me some specific examples. And the examples he provided were actually like, I see why he believes that. So he's a person of faith that I don't think negatively of at all. So we had a conflict. I sought to understand him first, and then he explained himself to me, and now we're just like, okay, we understand each other, and the conflict is over with that. All right, sorry, I was a little long-winded on that, but go ahead.
No. That's your answer. That's your answer. Seek first to understand, then be understood. That's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Another really good book, if you haven't read it, changed my life. I think you did a really good breakdown of it. I don't have anything to add to that, because I'd just be beating a horse at this point.
Yeah,
like you said, it just breaks down. We see that so much in our occupation. What we do is like, people don't care to understand the background behind it. It's just like, hey, this is what I was told to do, and it needs to get done. And I'm like, hey, there's a process to this. Yes. And if you don't understand the process, then you can't understand why it isn't done yet. Yeah. Which just leads to frustration on your part or on the other person's part. So
right.
Or in the party's parts. Both sides really become frustrated. So seek first to understand, then to be understood. I ain't gonna say the end all be all to resolving conflict. You could always put your enemy's head on a pike, but
yeah.
But that's a very good starting point.
Yeah, exactly. So all right. You got any others, or you want to head into some of the topics?
Nah, that was cool. That was really good.
Okay. All right. So
Actually, I just found one that I'm gonna do at the end of this show.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna segue us into our next episode.
Pick 1 or 2.
The number?
Yeah, 1 or 2.
2.
All right. So, topics were either Fidel Castro or the Dakota Access Pipeline, which was 2. And that's what you selected. Fidel Castro was 1. So, all right. I know I most of the time I normally start off speaking my mind first, but I want to hear your thoughts on DAPL.
DAPL. Yeah. That's Dakota Access Pipeline, right?
Yes. Dakota Access is the company, and the pipeline is what they're trying to run through several states. I think 4 states total to end up in Illinois.
What's new?
What's new? Is that like
What's new in this? What's new in this protest? Like, what I'm saying is, what's new in this?
That's what I figured you were saying.
At this point, does this surprise you? Like, I'm not surprised by it. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't even know where to start. What were those guys that just got off for the holding up the federal building?
Oh, was it in Oregon?
Those guys called names?
I forgot what they were called, but it was in Oregon. They took over a government building they forcefully took it over with weapons, and the police just decided, hey man, just let them chill in there until they decide to come out.
Wait them out.
Yeah, let's wait it out.
But in this case,
cut off logistics, but people were still sending drones in there to give them food and stuff. But yeah, that's those guys. That's how they treated them. But this new group, apparently, it's you take it to a new level, you know. So just to give people a rundown, like I'll give a quick rundown if you are not up on what DAPL, Dakota Access Pipeline, what it is and what's going on. So there's a company called Dakota Access, and what they want to do is ship crude oil. Well, they want to.
I guess Energy Transfer Partners.
Yeah, Well, no, that's one of their associate. That's another associated.
Subsidiaries? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Associate.
Yeah. So what they're trying to do is ship create a pipeline to get oil. I mean, to get crude oil in its natural state, like straight out of the ground, from North Dakota to Illinois. So it's going to go through North Dakota, then South Dakota, then Iowa, then end up in like mid to southern Illinois. So with that being said, they had to propose a plan, a route, right? So while I'm talking, I'm gonna try to put up some graphics and stuff like that of what's going on, right? So from there they decided, hey, we got the most fast and efficient route, and it's gonna go through these locations, right? So they set that up and then they proposed it. Once they proposed it, this city called Bismarck saw that the pipeline. I mean, and it's like a flourishing city in North Dakota. Bismarck saw that it was going through their city. They said, "F that! We don't want this pipeline coming through our city. If it bursts or something like that, it'll pollute our water. Blah 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 blah. We just don't want that." And hold on, I'm putting up a picture of North Dakota and where Bismarck is on the map, right? So this city circled in red, Bismarck, was where the pipeline was originally going to go through. The city said, no, you got to reroute it, send it some other way, right? So then they send it through they proposed another route, and it just so happened to go through some land that's owned, reservations of Native Americans, right? So these Native Americans said, hey, this is going to go right through our water source and potentially go through or actually go through sacred ground. We don't want that. You can't do it. We're going to protest. And the state approved it anyway. So they were supposed to get with the culture leaders of that area, blah blah blah, and say, hey, what are the risks versus rewards of doing it through this area? But they, according, like, now this part I don't know if it's fact or not, but according to just the people from that area, like the Native Americans, this wasn't properly done. They weren't aware or alerted that this was actually just going to start happening, or they didn't do any like mitigation of pollution of their water or anything like that. So once they started just trying to dig and make latest pipeline, they were like, F that, we're going to get in the way and stop you. Once that started happening, then good old America started to do what they do best, right? They sent militarized police officers to hose these guys down, shoot them with rubber bullets, spray like what looks like CO2 canisters on them. I say looks like because I can't see it from the small distance, the far distance that it is, and things like that, right? So that's been happening, believe it or not, since I think about April, and we're just hearing about it now because it just got to mainstream media because a famous reporter, a white female, she went there to do some reporting and journalism work on the topic, and she was arrested. So once she was arrested, then it became a, hey, what's going on? This is happening, and we are where we are today. So there's the quick rundown, and like Malcolm said, right?
Stormtroopers, man.
Yeah, like Malcolm said, is this really anything new to us? I mean, it isn't, but it's still appalling, you know? It's still like, is this really like...
So appalling.
Yeah, it's like, is this really where America is at this point, you know? I'm gonna just put up...
What do you mean? This is where America's been.
Like, I know, but it's like... Like
that's every empire since ever. Like, you got something, you're in the way of something that's going to make money, and we're going to offer you something to ease for you to part with it, and if not, we're going to move you. Like, This doesn't surprise me.
Like, while we're talking, I'll be putting up like several different graphics of like the protesters, and like this one here is they're letting dogs loose on the protesters. Letting the dogs bite them and attack them and stuff like that. It just shows you like, and then what's crazy is like there's a black hole from the media. Like, you just don't see any media coverage, like any real media coverage on CNN or Fox News or any of the major news outlets. And that's what I think is the craziest, because even when there's like bad things happening, and you know that the police or the police or the government are doing fucked up things, usually there's at least some like coverage on it, you know. But this is just nothing. And once again, we got like cops and tanks, or tanks and Humvees and military. I forgot what those are. Yeah, like military vehicles, like they. Oh, you talking about from Walking Dead? Yeah, yeah. They got
tanks up to the prison.
Yeah, man, it's like that. The Native American people need a Daryl to do that finger roll.
Finger roll with the grenade.
Yeah, it's just so crazy that stuff like this happens still today. I mean, I like you said, do we expect anything less? Because I mean, it's America. We've been doing stuff like this for.
On my way back there, man. A couple months, I'll be back there. Gotta buy some guns, and I'm going to a communist state, California.
Oh man.
So I gotta figure out which weapons I'm gonna take with me.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. Oh man. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, but yeah, we're definitely I think the thing was open a can of worms. The objective was open a can of worms on it, and then we're gonna have to follow up. We got a special guest coming on the show next week. The man, the myth, the legend that inspired all of this. One of the guys that inspired all of this, Mr. Burns and Mitch. So that's supposed to be one of the topics we're gonna touch back on at that time. So.
Yeah, we just wanted to touch bases on it.
That's why I don't have too much opinion on it at this time, because I can't wait to get into this with him and Alex both on the horn. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It's nothing new. It's colonialism, empires being empires, right?
Right.
It's disgusting.
But hey, that's humans, you know. Okay, so. We could just drop that topic until he gets back. I mean, well, I said back like he's been on before. Till he gets on here with us next week. So the next topic will be, I guess, Fidel Castro. You know, he recently.
Viva la Revolución.
Yeah, he recently passed away. I think at age 90, and there's just like such a conflict about whether to hate him or love him or be indifferent. And you just see both sides of the spectrum being outraged by the other side, you know. So what are your thoughts on it?
As far as where we stand, we're told that we should hate him.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We're told that we should hate him. I really don't know what we should feel. He's done some terrible things. I think he's done some good things too.
Yeah.
But no more so. I think, all right, so here's where I stand. If you're hating him for the sake of being told to hate him, and that's just what you do, but you're not mad at the things that your own government does, then you're a sheep being manipulated, as you probably have been and always will be. I'm not going to say like whether he's done things worse than, I'm not going to use the word no worse than other governments, but there's governments that we've supported.
Oh man!
Right?
Go ahead.
That have done some pretty bad things. There's governments that we're allied with right now that do things on that scale, if not greater.
Bahrain.
And yeah. So that's where I stand on that.
Yeah.
I will say this: out of all the protests that I see, right? It seems like from what I've seen, not protests, all that outrage I've seen, I never see, or I very seldom see any of the black Cubans like criticizing him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always the ones that was like Castilian Spanish, the ones that were real fairer skinned that were like kicked out of the country. I'm not saying that they don't have a right to be justifiably mad, but supposedly like they kicked out like the middle class of Cuba, right? The people that were well off and that were in cahoots with the previous government and probably possibly corrupt. And then they just like started giving keys to estates and villas to like the poor people of the of the country and the black people and the downtrodden people. And but what I'm saying is I haven't noticed. From what I've seen, I don't see too many of the poorer or the darker Cubans. Like, from what I've seen.
Yeah, a socialist nation. Like, they were socialists. Like, he pretty much completely and utterly regulated all markets in the country, to where everybody can be like on a fairly equal playing field, regardless of your occupation. You could live. Like, it's like Bernie Sanders on steroids, but done in a what I call a draconian way, right? So it was
because he was very well off though.
Yeah, because he was good, but so
he had like a private island off the side of the country or something.
Yeah. Once later on in life, because he grew up poor, but later on in life he was good. He was well off. But what I mean when I say he was like Bernie Sanders on steroids in a draconian manner is like, so all of the things that like Americans want, right? That Bernie Sanders was promising to us, right? Like affordable or free health care, or to expand on that a little bit more from what Affordable Health Care Act did. Affordable schooling or free schooling, up to university levels, almost diminished the poverty rate. Like literally, Fidel Castro almost completely diminished the poverty rate in his nation. Well, let me say, out of all Southern and Central American countries, Cuba was probably had the least amount of people per capita in poverty. They also had the highest, I think the highest literacy rate on the planet. They had a 97% literacy rate in their country. And like these were all things that he just did, but he did it in a, like I said, draconian way, meaning like, hey, if there's no open market, there's no room for competition. These companies will provide this. Nobody will compete with them. They do this, right? And if you try to rise up and change that, you're going to jail. And if you're a crime, if he felt aggrieved enough by you, from what you did, you're not only going to jail, but you're getting executed. So you just don't oppose him.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like they've had like a lung cancer vaccine since 2010.
Yeah,
that's free.
Vaccine
anyone can get.
Yeah, like it's like a legitimate vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess the question comes down to what ends, what means do you achieve an end?
Yeah. Does the means justify the end? And honestly, I say I'm conflicted on this because I'll get into one of my points another time. But I'm conflicted on this because I don't think that it's cool to just be out there like, yo, you oppose my view, you die. I don't think that's cool at all. That's completely and utterly fucked up. But when you do stuff like that, but then you actually produce product, because that's what I really care about. Like, did your actions produce a good product? I mean, shit, where else on the planet do we have?
So you're saying like you got a choice to. You saying you got a choice to flounder between like what we have, which is
all the freedoms
no
in the world,
progress, just a holding pattern, right? Mm-hmm. Of not accomplishing anything and divisiveness, especially like so that's what you get. Like, you have your choice between governments, right? You got one on the one side, that's us, and we say like, hey, in the name of democracy, I said democracy, and I know I did, right? Everyone has a voice, but then you just end up sitting dead in the water. Right. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, you put everything into one man's hands, and you actually accomplish. You actually get somewhere. So it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. I guess more people would be willing to go the second route if it didn't end. I guess what would cause someone to hold out from that, right? I think for one, it's like
the issue is that person's views gonna make us actually get somewhere? And there's where the conflict is, because you can have a leader who is okay. So let me say this first, right? So in the world, we do the type of ruler he is in a sense a monarchy, right? But like, here's what we do as Americans, right? If we see a country that has one man as the ruler and we like him, we say he's the king or the monarch or something along those lines, right? But if we don't like him, if his nation is not allies with America, then
you use the D word, dictator?
Exactly. He is a dictator. And it's like a dictator and a monarch are this exact same thing. Like, if you are the one guy who holds all the power.
By definition of the word. Except now, I'll give you the difference in them being in a monarch. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What you gonna say, like the blood lineage kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a very stupid way. If I had to put them in order of preference, right? Like, do I want this guy because he had some skill set that enabled people to fall in behind him, and to, like, if I had to pick, right, between like a King James or a Fidel Castro, right? Something about the second guy, something about the latter inspired people to rally behind what he was trying to do to get to a certain place. The first guy just said, like, hey, some creature, some special being that's higher than you that you'll never ever be able to ask for confirmation, said that me and everybody that's going to descend from me should be in charge of you.
Right.
Right. So if I had to pick one,
okay,
right, then I guess I would be for the Castro over the King James.
Right.
That's a stupid ass reason. That's a dumb reason to follow someone.
Yeah, I feel you. I completely agree with you.
The great
what we're saying
right in the
now,
sky said that.
Well, I think what we're saying right now is that in this situation, an elective monarchy isn't that bad. Like, when it boils down to it.
If what the objective is do we give everybody a voice? You've been there. It's a school project, right? Nobody wants to say it because we brainwashed into saying like that. You're evil if you want anything other than a democracy. But do you want to be an A student in a crowd of C and D students?
Right.
And you're put in a group with you're thrown in a group with these people, and your fate to graduate is based on their talents, right? Like, do you say like, hey, I'm a good organizer and a good rallier, and I put them to work doing what's going to make us succeed, or do I let everybody theoretically have a voice, and then we just end up floundering and not getting anything accomplished? When you put it in that sense of a school project, everybody goes like, all right, that's not that bad, elect a monarchy. But when you put it in the sense of a world government, then people say that you're crazy.
Right. Okay, I feel you on that. Yeah. And
nobody will walk into work tomorrow. I'm sorry, I know I'm ranting a little bit. Nobody will walk into, or excuse me, very few people, I'm willing to bet, will walk into work tomorrow and be told like, hey, you and these 5 people over here have until the end of the week to get this project done, and if you don't get it done, you're terminated, right? Because now your livelihood's on the line.
Right.
And success in a government is essentially the livelihood of people you govern.
That's true.
Survival, they're very survival, right? In matters of war, in matters of economic matters, everything, right? Because economy is just a substitute for a civilized means to get things that we need,
trade goods,
shelter, sustenance, right? Yeah, trade goods, right? It's just a civilized way to do it, right? So it's essentially war on a more civilized scale, right? So when you put that to those people like that, like, hey, you got until the end of the week to deliver me this product, or you're terminated. You and these 5 people over here, so 6 of you guys total, right? I see very few people saying like, yo, nah, let's all have a voice, especially when you realize that you're with the idiots, right? You're with a group of idiots.
Yeah.
I don't know a better word to use. They're gonna be like, all right, man, let me quarterback this thing. And you know you're talented, right? Or if you know that you're not that talented, but there's somebody that's done what's being asked to be done, right? Like they're like, hey, produce a PowerPoint, and you're with the PowerPoint guru, right? You're gonna say, all right, how do I get in where I fit in?
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, that was a little tirade for a second, but I completely get you, and I completely agree with it. Like, I don't see it as a bad thing. And then once again, you just go to the products he produced, like 97% literacy rate in his country, healthcare for everyone, absolutely everyone. Created a vaccine for lung cancer. I mean, literally just everything. And another thing I didn't mention is he had what was it? The Cuba for the last, I think, couple decades. I think it was like 3 decades now. They've had the most doctors per capita in the world, and they have the most doctors across borders per capita than any other country in the world. So they're literally just like slaying the game. And I mean, and it's not even like they're just doing bad shit, you know? We're out here doing bad shit. Like, they're literally out there just producing good for the world. And then another thing that they did, and this was way back when, like, early into his leadership days, is and this, I'm gonna tie this into some nerd stuff. So anybody who's played Metal Gear Solid or the whole series know who this guy named Big Boss is, right? And Big Boss was this guy who he worked for the government, saw how corrupt it was, like how they were willing to just make themselves look good. They would, like, at one point in the game, they took one of their top most decorated soldiers, this female name, and her code name was Boss. That was it, just Boss, because that's how like great she was. They took her and martyred her. They made her look like she was a terrorist just so America could look good by killing her to the rest of the world's eyes, right? So,
but who did they send to kill her?
The guy I'm about to talk about, Big Boss.
Oh,
right. So once he killed her, he became Big Boss, right? And he actually legitimately killed her, and he didn't know about that mission being a fake visage or nothing like that. So once he did that, then he got back. Well, once he killed her, he found out about the mission. I mean, about her mission to fake being a traitor, all this kind of stuff, and he realized how corrupt America was, right? So then he created his own, like, literally, they were just an independent military unit for hire, and they were on off the coast of what, Puerto Rico or Mexico or something like that, somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico. They were in there, and any country that wanted or needed help or just had money, or a group of people who needed money to have soldiers fight for their cause, these guys would be the ones to do it. And in real life,
yeah, but they did that in several African countries too.
Yeah, well, these. Oh, you talking about in the game?
No. I'm talking about Cuba. Oh, I thought you tuned back into Cuba.
That's what I was about to do. So yeah, Cuba did this in real life. They had once they dethroned, and then there's even more about this, right? Batista, horrible person, way worse, like 10 times worse than Castro, was just out there murdering his own people in the streets, imprisoned like 20,000 of his people at once just because they didn't agree with him. So once they became the people who revolutionized the way they did things, right? They said, hey, we're gonna fight for any nation that wants to overthrow a corrupt government. Just let us know, and we're there. And they, like, that's the kind of good that they put in the world. That's the kind of good Fidel Castro put in the world. Now, do I, once again, means justify the ends? The draconian ways that he had, I don't think so much. But at the end of the day, I mean, he did put some good out there. And I just wanted to say all of that just to, like, let it be aired out that there's two sides to every coin, you know? Like,
always.
Yeah. So I don't think they're justified. I think it was some fucked up shit he did. But I'm also the type of person to say, yo, if the world just had one dude leading it, and we all just like went forward with his views, we could
Neil deGrasse
get
Tyson.
shit.
Dr. Tyson.
Yeah, exactly. We could like get
Or
some
Ron
shit done.
Paul.
Yeah.
Dr. Paul. One of those.
I don't know about Paul. I have to look more into it. But yeah, so all right, that's enough on Fidel Castro. Any points you want to bring up? I got a couple more, but anyone you want to bring up?
Nah, man. Like I was saying, I went off on a little rant about it, but like I said, depends on what you want. Do the means justify the ends you're trying to reach?
Right. Yeah, I already talked too much on this topic, but I kind of want to talk about like how we're aligned with like Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, and they kill their people regularly if they don't do what they want them to do or believe what they want them to believe. But we could talk about that another day. But just understand that America allies with countries like this, but then we say Fidel Castro's a monster. But the king of
people don't understand that because of media.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand media.
Yeah. This king is, if you live in Saudi Arabia and you say I don't want to be a Muslim anymore, they kill you. Let's just say that.
They do like public executions every week, and people didn't know that.
Yeah. So, let's get into like a little bit of yeah, enough with the hard.
At least until I get out of the country.
Right. I already escaped, so I can say this. But how about good old Yeezus, Kanye West?
Yeezy?
Yeah.
Oh man, the Illuminati's trying to take him out.
Yeah, that's you saying. He ended up hospitalized, but he was hospitalized for fatigue. It's not like everybody else where it was like, oh, he was just a drug addict and he OD'd, blah, 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 blah. He was hospitalized for
That's
fatigue.
That's what they're saying. Until he don't take the medicine.
Yeah. So, what do you think about it at this point? Like, what's your view on it?
What, as far as him,
yeah, all like the rant he went on. Did you see the rant? Let me ask that before I ask you that.
Some of it, well, he's got some valid points. He just goes about addressing things the wrong way. Yeah,
that's what I always say. Like, the man typically says things that make a hell of a lot of sense. He just has a bad way with words. Or, I don't know. I just think, in my opinion, he's just, like, way too emotional. He gets way too into his feelings. Instead of, like, speaking objectively or speaking logically, he just, like, gets really emotional and goes off on rants that he end up just looking or sounding dumb because of it. I mean, I still agree with the man with almost everything except his comments on Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, he's mad at Jay-Z for not calling him and hanging out with him. It's like, in what world am I obligated to hang out with you? Like, in what world is it, okay, we've been friends for a long time, but you like to act an ass on TV, and I don't like to be in public with people like that, but now I'm obligated to hang out with you? It's like, and then he was like, our kids ain't went on a play date. Well, you know what's going to happen as soon as they go on a play date? You being a social media whore and your wife being a social media whore that she is, and loving all the attention that you guys get, you're going to be like, who did it better? Blah, blah, blah. Taking pictures, putting it on Instagram. Just causing like unwanted...
Nothing's genuine. Huh? Nothing's genuine anymore.
Yeah, it's like, you're going to be causing this man unwanted negative attention. Like, he don't want people sitting here criticizing his daughter next to yours. I mean, people are going to do it anyway, but he don't want to give them even more reason to do it. Like, this man almost 50 years old.
Himself. If it wasn't for these pictures, you wouldn't see me at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
in case you didn't know what that line meant.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the man's almost 50 years old. Who wants fucking Kanye level drama in their life at 50 years old? I think he's 47 or 48 right now. I could be wrong.
Man. All I want is money, the fame. I'm a simple man.
Let me see. I'm gonna type in. But
so I'm over here. I may or may not be. What were you about to jump into?
Oh, I was about to say he's 47 in next week. Well, this week.
Yeah, I mean, I get the point. 47, closer to 50 than not.
Yeah. So yeah, fucking nearly 50-year-old man over here going to your house so you can like take Instagram pictures with his daughter and say who's cuter. No, absolutely not.
You think that's what Kanye would do?
Yes.
That's a Kim Kardashian thing to do.
That he married her. I mean, you can't have one without the other at this point. I mean, you can, but then it's really awkward. Hey, I want to hang out with you, but I want you to make your wife leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a reasonable request.
Yeah, I'm not really on the Kanye thing. I saw it. I mean, I wish him the best. If he really is going through stuff, I was reading someone was saying like how it's around the time that his mom passed, and he probably never really dealt with it the right way. Which I mean, I could see.
I could see that too.
And then you got to look at the people around him, like his wife and them. Like they don't. Nothing's real to them. Nothing's authentic, man. So that dude's probably over there suffering, man. Like, and he's probably not more. I'm not gonna say most or more likely. He's likely not getting the help he needs.
Yeah, like psychiatric mental help. Yeah,
in that regard, I feel sorry for him, man. Let me go and say this: Black people, mental illness is a real thing.
Yeah,
it's not all in your head. It's not something you get over. Get your ass up, boy. Mental illness, depression, those are real things.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah, man. It really is. And people don't look at it that way. People just say, hey, tough it out. I did this, and this when I was younger. You can handle it. And it's like, well, look at all the negative things that happen in your life because of it. So, I don't
You're a wreck.
Yeah, you're a complete wreck. And you can't even hold a social gathering without flipping out on somebody, or you can't hold a friendship longer than 3 weeks. But yeah, man, I want to be just like you. But yeah, I think it's a lot of aspects to it. I just hope the best for him. I love his music. Like Jay-Z said, yo, Kanye, you a genius. I just want him to keep making music. I want him to get healthy, and I want him to stop fucking running himself to the ground with these Kardashians and shit. But yeah,
my connection holding up pretty good, man.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah, like I may or may not be. I'm running a couple things in the background.
Oh yeah. I don't hear any choppiness or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some entertainment, man. I just started this show.
Oh. Wait, what are you talking about?
Nah, I just started watching a new show.
Oh, what show?
On Netflix, but Black Sails, man.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's about pirates.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. Okay, you mentioned it earlier.
It's about pirates and whores and gold and pistols. And it's so good, man. It's so good.
All right, so I can tell you guys now, this is the part of the show we kind of like drift off and start talking to each other like normal.
Yeah, we're doing the entertainment. We segue from Kanye.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you about Black Sails. You gotta watch it. I don't know if it's available where you are, because Netflix does that geo-blocking thing. Yeah. So it's not available in the U.S., but it's available out here. So I watched the first 2 seasons. I binge watched like the first 2 seasons of it this last week, because I'm still on vacation. So at least until tomorrow morning, I gotta go back in there. Oh man, I don't want to go. But anyway, I am drifting off.
Yeah.
But it's a really good show. It's actually a prequel to Treasure Island, the book. So it takes place 20 years before the events of Treasure Island. So it mixes fictitious pirates with real ones, and it's just really good.
Okay.
I binge watched like the first 2 seasons, and now I may or may not be pirating. Another episode or the next season of a show about pirates. When I say may or may not be, I mean not be, because I wouldn't do anything like that. Piracy is bad.
You shouldn't do it. It's illegal. Yeah, gotcha. So, in the entertainment industry, for me, we got gaming, and on episode 1, I went on a long, not really that long, I guess maybe it was, but I went on like a rant about one of my favorite game series, Final Fantasy, and I was complaining about how like it used to be so great, and now like it's just descended into like utter crap, like complete and utter crap. And then the new game, Final Fantasy 15, just came out yesterday, and I'm in love all over again, yo. It's like going on a second honeymoon with your wife or something like that, yo. I'm literally completely impressed by this game. Like, they revamped the fighting system in the game. The story is not like stupid when you first start off like the last couple Final Fantasies. The fighting is actually fun. That's the key thing, because like the old Final Fantasy was turn based, and I mean
that shit sucked, man.
But it was the 90s. Like, gaming was still like the new thing. Like, I mean, not new, but like it wasn't that mainstream. Like, it wasn't like the multi-billion-dollar industry that it is today. I mean, it was strong then, but it wasn't as strong as it is today. So now you gotta come with product now. So, and they did in all aspects. The graphics are good, even though I really don't care about graphics. The story so far is good. The fighting is good. It has like in-depthness. Like, you don't just go through the storyline and complete the game. There's like side quests to do, a lot of weapons to level up, a lot of abilities to learn. They got like something called, I forgot what it's called. It's like some grid that you're going to learn all your abilities on. It is just a good time. So if you haven't got it already and you're a gamer, I am recommending Final Fantasy 15. Now, mind you, I'm in the beginning of the game, so I might play it for 3 more days and be like, yo, this shit fucking sucks. And then y'all hear me on here, telling y'all like, yo, my bad if you bought it. We said we're not staunchly set to any opinion. We can change our mind. Yeah, so if that happens, I'll come and recant my statement. But at the moment, it's a fucking great game. And then another one is Watch Dogs 2. I only played like the tutorial because I started downloading it, and it was like, it's playable now. And while it's playable, you're supposed to just like play, and then by the time you're finished with the tutorial, it should be done, but it wasn't. So then I was just like, oh, I don't feel like waiting, and I just started playing something else. But yeah, those 2 games really good. Like, the tutorial was fun, and actually, like, a lot of people were complaining because they were like, the main character's a black guy. Why? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, yo, we got like 10 main characters in video game history besides created characters. Can y'all shut up? But yeah, two good games if you want to try them out, in my opinion. Watch Dogs 2 and Final Fantasy 15. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been playing anything.
You're messing up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm focused on getting out of this place, so I ain't really been doing anything. But I think another reason I got so hard into Black Cells is because I was so big into Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and there are like so many similarities, man. It's really
the whole pirate thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I think one day I remember we were talking, and you were like, "You joined the Navy to be a pirate."
I did. Not a politician.
Yeah.
Or a paper pusher. Right. I think I'm gonna buy a cutlass soon.
Right. Oh yeah. So, oh man,
cutlass and like 4 flintlock pistols.
Yeah. So remember, so the other day I posted on Facebook, hey guys, if you want us to talk about any controversial topics, blah 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 blah, posted on here, and we got a good amount of responses. Do you want to pick from any of those to like just?
No.
You don't?
No. I want to ask you one more thing in entertainment that you posted on a couple days ago that we both had similar feelings on.
Okay.
And I was trying to catch you before you went into Final Fantasy. The Walking Dead.
Oh shit! Oh man, my bad.
Yo, I think I am over that shit, man.
The show in general?
Yeah, it's. I'm over it.
I think they lost their direction with the show. Either that or they don't. So, in my opinion, it's either, it got to be one of 3 things, right? It's either they don't care, like they just don't care about their viewers.
I was gonna say that there's several things. Yo, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yo, right. You're in my head right now, and I need you out of my head. Yo, go ahead.
Okay, so
hang on, because I'm taking notes.
All right, so it's either they don't care, like they just don't give a damn about their viewers, and they're gonna just ride it out.
Theory.
Yeah, they're gonna just
the Drake theory.
Okay, they're gonna just ride it out based on their name from this point. Like, hey, we're the Walking Dead. Like, you're gonna watch us. Like, and that's their mentality. Like, you're gonna come back for more, right? Like, you can't not listen to me. I'm the Walking Dead. so that's
soup nuts, yo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The episode of Seinfeld, like, yo, is no one gonna tell this man this soup sucks? Yo, your soup is not worth
the abuse.
It's the emperor. Yeah, it's the emperor with no clothes. Go ahead. I call it the Drake theory, and I'm gonna tell you why I call it the Drake theory.
Okay.
In a second.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
So then the other option is they've just strayed so far out that they lost their way, and they really don't know what their consumers and viewers want. They just don't know, which I doubt that's it. And then the third one is that the rest of this season is going to be so fire that they wanted to bore you to death, just so like while you're about to fall asleep, it's like a punch in the fucking face, like that Charlie Murphy punch, and he just punched him in the fucking face.
Yo, you know what? You know which theory I'm gonna discard first is that last one.
You don't think it's gonna be that exciting for the rest of the season?
No, it can't be. It can't be. Like, okay, so you build up Negan, right? You build up this huge bad guy, right? To the point where to do what?
He's invincible.
Right, he kills a couple main characters. He's invincible, right? And at this point, right now, right, if the next episode came out or the season finale came out and Rick got revenge on him, would the payoff be worth it at this point?
No, not even close.
It's like for Rick to kill him, right? It would just be like there's nothing he could do.
It would be so anticlimactic
to make it exactly. It's like, oh, he said some words and shot him in the face. How many times have we seen that play out? Like, it's so formulaic at this point. Like, I think it's just I go with the Drake theory, and I'm gonna tell you why I call it that. That Views from the Six was garbage, right?
Yeah.
People were like, oh, you gotta listen to it a few times and it'll grow on you, and that's like, no, that's forcing yourself to like something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
for the
true.
sake of liking, right? The Black Album, that was the case with the Black Album. It was because you didn't really understand the magnitude of what was happening at the time. And then you listen to it later, and then I was like, yo, I did not catch this the first go through.
Right.
That was the case with 808s.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Right? I'm like, yo, this dude's on one, man. And it's like, but it was hypnotic. It's like, yo, like with I call it the Drake theory, because with that Views from the Six, I was forcing myself to listen to it and forcing myself to like it for the sake of me liking Drake. Okay. With 808s and the Black Album, I wasn't forcing myself to like it or listen to it. It was actually very sonically pleasing.
Right. And then as you
I just didn't understand the direction of it.
Right. And then as you listen to it more and more and more, you understood and liked it more.
It started unfolding, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Here's the music side of it. Here's the logic side of it. Right?
Yeah.
And this is what makes it make sense. So that's why I call it the Drake theory, because at this point, Drake is just putting shit out on strength of he's Drake, and it's going to sell because I'm Drake. Remember that conversation we had in the car where I was making fun about how he flows now? It's like he's like at this point where all he does is just jet set around, deal with whichever celebrity female is hot in the news. He actually kind of reminds me of somebody we used to work with, right? He
okay.
No names. We'll talk offline about that, right?
Okay.
He jet sets. He shows his face in the right places, right? He goes to a few NBA games. He did the TMZ, TMZ media takeout headline about who he was with, and then he grows the beard out. He thinks he's like some Arab guy, right? And then when he raps now, it's so lazy. It's like he's not even trying. Like this is the Drake. Yeah, this is the Drake rap formula at this time. This guy started off giving us bars. This guy is going to say something. He's going to start off a line. He's going to throw some popular athletic or pop culture reference in there. Yep. And then he's going to make a bunch of noises. I rock Kentucky Blue on these hoes. It's like, Dre be like Steph Curry with the shot. Whoa. And it's like, what are you doing, bro? It's like, but people are like, oh, this is just the best thing ever. But I'm like, no, it's not. It's not good. And that's what The Walking Dead is to me now at this point. You're dead to me. It's like The Walking Dead has got to that point where like, yo, we're The Walking Dead. You're gonna tune in every week because we may or may not. And it started with that whole Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad way of turning TV on its head by getting rid of characters that you didn't think could be touched.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so how many times you gonna tease me with Glenn dying before you actually kill him? When Glenn died, I was like
desensitized already. Like,
yeah, I was like, I felt nothing.
I had 3 scares with him that season, like the previous season. I mean, like it was the when he fell and the dude fell on top of him, he got under the dumpster. Then when I felt more. Go ahead. Frightened for him then than I did watching him get his head bashed in. Because like you said, I was desensitized by that point. It was like, oh, okay, it had to happen somehow. Here it goes. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I feel the exact same way.
Bro, that's where The Walking Dead is to me, right? Right now, man. Like it's to the point where, like, what could possibly be a payoff worth the build up? Like, you get rid of Negan, like he's the best thing about the show at this point, besides the tiger.
Oh yeah, Ezekiel and his tiger.
And then we heard the story about how he tamed the tiger, and then it wasn't even cool anymore.
Yeah, exactly. They immediately like emasculated him.
I was like, oh man, it was cooler thinking this dude like fucking wrestled the tiger into submission and made him his own zombie killing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But
then it was like, oh man, that's kind of lame.
Yep. And then well, I don't even want to tell any more of the show. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not enjoying it at all. They got one more episode out of me. I mean, if this next episode isn't like interesting, and it doesn't even have to just be like somebody dies or a big fight happens or something like that. If this next episode isn't interesting, I'm not watching any more this season. Because like the last 4, so the first 2 episodes were the first episode was exciting. And then the second episode, they let you see what happened to Daryl, because he's a major character. He's like people. They're more like, I think there's more fans of him than there are of Rick out there at this point. So then,
my actual favorite characters were Glenn, then Daryl, then Rick.
Exactly. Well,
because nothing can happen to
Rick.
Nothing's gonna happen to Rick, right? So
right. So then, right. So mine were Shane, Daryl, then Rick. Even though Shane's been gone forever, but I still liked him more than Rick. I'm saying a lot again. Fuck, I forgot where I was about to go with that.
At this point, even if they turn the whole end of the season, the last half of the season, into a bloodbath shootout, every episode is gonna be a surprise. It's like, to what end? Like, to what payoff?
The only end I can see would be worth it to me is if like Daryl overtakes Negan's spot. Like if he just becomes the man in that place and just like takes over, and now he's the leader of the state. Even still,
that's why I keep coming back to what end? To do what? Just exist until another threat? Like it's like so played out now. It's like the farm, right? Was the last safe house, right? Safe haven, right? And then the prison with the governor, right? Some bad guy comes up. There's some morally corrupt guy that forces the main group to become as bad, morally bankrupt as them in an attempt to overthrow them. They overthrow them. They try to reclaim their humanity. Somebody else comes up. They have to go back to that dark place again. And it's like, to what end? Like, I would rather see more progress by way of story, as in like what's caused it, what's the chance that the civilization gets rebuilt, which if you follow the comics you get some of those answers, but I think the show has the liberty to take a completely different direction to that
read the comics,
than the comic, and give me some answers, right? At one point we were trying to get to the CDC. Are there other people out there that are more technologically advanced?
They were trying to get to DC at one point to see what was happening there, but then they learned that what's his name was lying about being a fucking top secret military agent or something like that.
Cause I'm smarter than you.
Yeah. So yeah, but all right. We've been on The Walking Dead for a minute.
To what end?
Yeah,
to what end is my.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So I wasn't even like watching for comments. I don't think we had any comments.
I don't know. I don't think so either. But yeah, so that's that. I had another topic. Where is it? Man, doing like so talking live and stuff like that makes you really self-conscious of the way you talk and how much I say and stuff like that when you're when you're pausing. So what I'll say is pick a number 1 through 5, and this might be one of our last topics. Actually,
3.
wait. Okay, 1, 2.
We're at about 5 minutes to the hour.
Okay. Well, if we start like losing steam, you already know how I feel about it. We go to an hour at least, and if we don't have any steam at that point, we cut it off. If we got a good topic going, then we keep it going. So 1.
All right, 2, let's go. What's 3?
All right, 3 is incarcerating women who use children as pawns or child support.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a good one.
Put them in jail. You know what else you should also incarcerate? You should incarcerate those people that make false rape allegations.
Oh man, yep. Yeah.
I wouldn't say incarcerate women that I would say force them to pay it back, and if they're unable to pay it back, then they should. There's got to be some type of restitution.
No, if they.
But I would definitely put.
Go ahead.
Like if they. Hey, say it again, so I'm not battling off on something that's wrong.
I think you probably thought of it differently from what it was said. Okay, so incarcerating women who use children as pawns, or misuse child support. Now, the misuse child support, that part I see where like it depends on where you go with misuse. Like if it's like a fraud situation where you lied to this person, or like there's certain states where like you can put a male's name on a birth certificate without his consent or without a DNA test or something like that. I think in situations like
put those chicks in jail. Put them in jail.
Yeah, but if it's a person who abuses I'll just say they abuse the fact that they have a vagina to manipulate the court to get them to do whatever they want just to fuck over the guy for not being with them anymore. Those, I think that they should lose. They should lose some kind of parental rights. That's what I think. Because it's like you don't even have the child's best interest in mind anymore. What you have is malice in mind. Like you're so malicious towards this individual at this point, and towards males in general, that you would deprive this child from seeing or letting his father or her father be in their life just because you want to spite this person. Or if you'll lie to the child and say, the guy calls and say, hey, can I come pick up my kid? And you're like, nah, fuck you, blah, 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 blah. You didn't do this, and that. And it's like, well, I tried to, but you didn't want me around. Nah, fuck that. I ain't want to let my kid be around that bitch, blah, 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 blah. And then you get off the phone and you go to fucking Lil Tyrone and be like, your daddy didn't want to come see you. He'd rather be with some bitch. And it's like, well, you're just completely lying to this fucking kid. And like, so situations like that, where if it can be proven in some way, shape, or form, I think like parental rights should be taken away. Like the guy should be able to fight for custody of the child and get custody, because like literally she cares less about the child's well-being and having a positive male figure or father figure in his or her life than she cares less about that than she does being spiteful and malicious towards the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole system's broken anyway. Like, you shouldn't automatically get custody.
Yeah. It's like I think the average in America is like an 8-to-1 ratio on women winning custody battles over men. Like 8-to-1 ratio. That is ridiculous. And I know there's going to be some
back into that. We're talking equal rights again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Equality.
Yeah. So then I know there's going to be a bunch of women. One day when we have like thousands of viewers, some people are going to go and listen to this and be like, well, if men wanted their kids, they'd get them. And it's like, okay, if you think every man on the entire planet Earth just doesn't want his kid, then you're just a dumb bigot. Like, you're literally the definition of bigotry. Like, you think every man on planet Earth just don't want his kid, and that's why they don't get their fucking parental rights. All right, you're right. All men hate children. Yep, it's part of our DNA. It's part of our DNA.
And I'm gonna post date this one for that day that someone comes back to this cast and they listen and they're like, "Oh, those guys are horrible people." Like, fuck you. From now, that's from now. For whenever in the future prompts you to come back to this episode to view our thoughts. Like, there shouldn't just be an instant mandate that the woman gets the child. Like, but I'm in that system and I got my own feelings on it. But going back into this, should you incarcerate women who use children as pawns? The women that randomly do that, yo, I'm gonna put your name on the birth certificate, now you're stuck in to pay me, like they did that guy, that woman should be in jail.
Yeah.
And whichever judge, whichever judicial system enacted that and stood behind that, they should be disbarred and they should be in jail too. And some restitution should be paid.
Yeah.
Misusing child support, on the other hand, is there's nothing that you can say. There's nothing that you can say to justify misusing child support, especially in this liberal, you don't know what she or he goes through type society we live in. You don't know what it takes to raise a child. Actually, I do, right? Because from the time my daughter was 1 until she was about 3, I had pretty much sole custody of her. And whenever I ate, she ate. I didn't require child support to do that.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
and in the occupation.
No, go ahead. My bad.
In the occupation that I was in, we were right there at what? We were like right at the poverty line, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, can it be done? Yeah. Did I require child support? No. Would it have been nice? Yeah, free money is always nice. But I wouldn't sit around and say like, I needed that money to take care of her. Like, nah, I'm an able-bodied human. When I decided to have a child, I decided that whatever financial obligations came about that, I was ready to go in for 100%. I had a child. They say you sharpen your sword, but you pray for peace, right? I had a child wanting to be with her mother, right? But also prepared that if I was alone, because I was raised by a single parent, by my dad, right? But knowing that if I ended up alone through us not working out or you know what I'm saying, health issues or something like that, then I would be able to take care, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's my thing. Like, when you're having these kids, right?
Yeah.
If you're not prepared to do it alone, you probably shouldn't. You're probably not mature enough to be able to be in a relationship. And I'm not saying that as saying like every woman that has a kid should be able to do it themselves. What I'm saying is, you're probably not mature enough that if you don't feel that one day it can end up on you, then you shouldn't be having kids.
Oh shit, I feel you on that. I get you. Like, if you're not in a position where you can handle that, then
yeah, some chicks gonna come and say like, well, that's fucked up. A woman shouldn't have to do it on her own. No one should have to do it on their own. But if you have a child, a part of I think being a responsible human is if you bring another life in this world, you should be prepared to be able to take care of it and provide for it, right? That's whether you're a man or a woman, right?
And then, so
God forbid, like I'm married and me and my wife have a kid and I die in a coal mining accident. So that's what used to happen, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Is it somebody else's responsibility? I'm sorry, Alex, go ahead.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, you go ahead, but yeah, like so my thing is, nobody accounts for the fact.
Papa died from the black lung.
Yeah, like nobody accounts for the fact that like people can die. And I mean, of course you're going to get some kind of, like, if you have life insurance, you'll get something to help you out, but that's not going to help you out for the long term, right? And you have to prepare yourself. You have to be in a position to be able to take care of yourself and that child, regardless of if that person's in your life or not. That person can get into a car accident, something happened to their head, they're a vegetable. Now you have to take care of that person and this child. Like, what are you going to do then? Like, what are you going to do? That person didn't just up and die. Now you got to provide for them. Now you got to do what it takes for you, that person. Or, I mean, unless you abandon them and say, hey, your family can take care of your vegetable ass or something like that. I mean, at any point in time when you have a kid, you got to have the mentality of, hey, I could be alone with this child. Am I in a position to do it? And I mean, and that's controversial in itself because some people are really,
you
really
shouldn't be out here having kids with
like,
banking on the thought of I shouldn't have to do it alone.
right.
And then I direct that more back towards women because they ultimately, through freedom of choice, right? They ultimately hold the key to whether or not that child ends up here.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so even more so into that, and here's where more.
What was that dumbass argument we had where it was like we were like, yo, male birth control, right? And it was like if a man ain't ready to raise a kid, he shouldn't be having sex. But you fuck too.
Right, exactly. Like this wasn't a one-way thing, yo. It takes two people to make this child. Like immaculate conception. Immaculate conception doesn't happen.
We want to talk equality. Like, how come we both lay down? We both may have been reckless, or both were victims of an accident, right? If it was an accidental conception, but you hold all the cards now.
Yeah, exactly. And oh man, so I don't think we got enough time for me to go into this like I really want to, unless you just want to go.
No. We can wrap. We can start wrapping.
No. I'm not gonna say wrap it up, but I'm just saying like I got a whole shit. I got a whole thing, and okay, I'll say that I'll save my long rant about this for the next episode, right? So there's a certain couple rights. Well, there's birth rights or rights that no male has, right? Like rights to what I say is rights to opt out of parenthood, right? So the women have multiple ways, right? So before you are pregnant, you can be on birth control, right? You can let me go. I got several steps to this, right? So you got the pre-opt out of parenthood, right? So you can opt out by being on birth control, right? And then you be like, oh, that's not 100%. I can still get pregnant. Cool. That's why they have the during phase for opting out of parenthood, and that's a condom, right? So then you have level 1 of post. If you didn't decide to do that and you got pregnant, right? Like, well, and the person like came in you, right? So then you can use the Plan B pill, like emergency contraceptive, right? Then let's say you didn't want to do that, or you couldn't afford to do that at the time, blah 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 blah, whatever excuse you want to make for yourself. You got level 2 of post to opt out of parenthood, and that is exactly. That's abortion, right? So like at any point in time, you can get an abortion, right?
Keep going free,
right? So well, not at any point in time, but within a certain time frame, you can opt out by getting an abortion once you know you're pregnant. So then you go to the third layer, and the third layer has 2 ways to do it, right? The third layer is once the child is born, right? So if you are a female with a child, and you don't even have to have the father's consent, because you can literally say, I don't want that guy's name on the birth certificate because he ain't the father. Even if he knows he's the father, like if you don't want him in there, he can't just forcefully rush in and sign the birth certificate. Like he can't do that. I mean, it's illegal. He'll go to jail if you do some shit like that. Hospitals have security. So he can't force his name on the birth certificate. So literally right after birth, she can give that child and I think it's state by state how long you have, but you can give that child up for adoption, or you can leave that child at a hospital, a police station, a fire station, or any other government entity like that. And there's for layer 3, you have 3 steps, right? So what does a male have to opt out of parenthood? Because I just gave 5 layers of opting out of parenthood.
Yo, that's so crazy, right? That's so crazy. Like a female can go drop a baby off at the firehouse and be like, yo, I'm done with it. Yeah, I no longer have any obligation to be a parent. Yeah. But if like a female popped up and was like, hey, here's your baby, and I took that baby and left it at a firehouse, I'm going to prison for kidnapping. I was like, yo, I'm not dealing with this. Right. And then, like, she dozed off, and I like drove and was like, hey, here you go, kid. I'm at the fire station.
Yeah.
I'm going to prison.
Right. So
we want equal rights, though.
Right. So then you go to, what option do a male have to say, I don't want to be a parent? And the one and only option you have.
Well, you shouldn't have. Damn.
Yep, and that's our only option. Abstinence. Yeah, abstinence is our only option. And if we don't abstain, then we're wrong. No matter what happens from that point. Like, I could be providing for my child for 17 and a half years, lose my job, and if I don't provide for that last half of the 18th year, I'm a piece of shit. But a female can have 12 kids and leave them all at firehouses, and she was just a mom in the struggle. A mom in the struggle, yo. I don't know her struggle. I have to shut up because I'm a man and I don't know her struggle, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Shut up laughing so hard, bro. Okay. All right.
Hey, I'm sorry. I gotta mute my mic. Yo,
Yo, no, you good. So we have a comment, and like the comment we just got is, I'm married, and when I decided to have our son, I made sure I was prepared to take care of my child on my own. And that's exactly.
Like, moved to Florida.
Yo, that's fire. I didn't know that. So, everybody out there, I mean, I'm going to fact check the hell out of that. I'm about to, just to learn. But we just learned that if you move to Florida, child support is not enforced if you live there. She knows.
So, what happens if, like, Miss Stewart?
Yeah.
Miss Stewart, what happens if, all right, with child support.
yo.
Not being enforced there. I'm here. With child support not being enforced there, right? What happens if I like leave the bounds of Florida after I've not been paying child support? Like I cross over into Alabama and I'm like a fugitive from justice. Do I have to remain in Florida?
We'll give it some time to answer.
No, she's dropping. Oh, that's crazy.
But yeah. So yeah.
So we just added a tool into the male way to opt out of. So we're at 2 ways now. We got abstain and move to Florida, right? Which requires me to uproot my entire life. It's still pretty uneven.
But yo, no, it's still uneven because a woman has those options too. A woman can abstain, and a woman can move to Florida.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah.
Yo, that's crazy, man.
So, I mean, I just can't wait for male birth control to come out. So
I salute you, Miss Stewart, for your first comment. So when I decided to have our son, I'm married, and when I decided to have our son, I made sure I was prepared to take care of my child on my own. That's the right mentality. Not enough people have that mentality. Too many people are like, well, you shouldn't have been sectioned. And I'm like, what fucking 1600 culture you living in?
Yeah,
man?
yo, we have like, so, and this is my thing, right? So these are like those traditional conservative views, right? And like the people on the left, right? They think, oh, the right is wrong on like 90%, or like 100% of things, especially when it comes to like children and all that kind of stuff. But then when it comes to this one view about if a father is responsible for a child he didn't want, or if a male should be able to opt out of parenthood, then it's like, nope, fuck that. We don't adopt these conservative views of it's supposed to be 2 people in a household. If you didn't want to have a baby, you shouldn't lay it down. You shouldn't expect her to have an abortion. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, I thought y'all fought to be able to have abortions and shit like that. Now that I want you to have one, it's that tool's off the fucking table now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get frustrated with that kind of stuff. Because, like, I mean, people have this ridiculous double standard. Like, if a female does anything, she can still be like in a saving grace and be good. But if a male do something, you're immediately a demon. Like you eat babies for dinner. Like if you're
equal rights, bro. Equal rights.
Exactly. Well, man.
Oh shoot! I was supposed to send my bro the link to the Oh man, that was so good, man.
What?
I'm sorry I had that. Y'all forgive me for having that little laughing fit. Oh, we got into some meat just now, didn't we?
Yeah, that's why I said, yo, and man. So the points I was gonna get at is like I
was getting ready to rap.
Yeah, there are a couple rights in the United States. I won't say around the world, but it's specifically in the United States. And this is what I'm going to get into in the next episode. There are a couple rights that men just don't have. Like, we always talk about equal rights and stuff like that. But there are a couple, like, just straight up rights that men do not have. You can't even you can't even bring up a valid argument against it. Like, and
people argue.
They'll argue with me, but I mean, that's like telling me 2 + 2 is 23. I mean, you can argue with me and say it, but that don't mean you're right.
I gotta read you this post that I sent to my boys, man. It was like, we got this group chat, a couple of my bros.
Okay.
Nah, I'm sorry. I was responding to a message.
All right. Go ahead.
But we got this group chat, a couple of my boys, where we just be boys, right?
Yeah.
From most of us were on the ship together, but we all they the boys, man. They the bros, right? And so one of my Facebook friends posted this post. So I guess it's this part of the show, scrolling down my timeline.
Okay, yeah.
Remember that from the first episode?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I just saw something that.
All right, yeah.
I'm gonna be kind of sad.
Say it.
I'm coming back. I'm kind of ranting.
Okay.
I know I'm ranting.
And now you're not saying anything. What's happening right now?
I am. I'm collecting myself. Let me collect.
All right.
Anyway, the group chat is the boys. One of my Facebook friends, she posted this post yesterday, and I dropped it in the group chat, and it just like lit the group chat up, man. It's only 5 of us in there, right? And they were like, "Yo, this is some craziness, man." So I want to read it. It's pretty long. I want to read it. I took a screenshot of it, but and I want to get your thoughts on it because I think it's a perfect segue into from out of what we were just discussing.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
So it says, here's the thing about good guys and nice guys. They are invariably the ones who have nothing to offer in a relationship. They usually have zero sexual prowess, but feel they are owed good sex. They tend to be boring conversationalists. They cape for mediocrity, yet dream of greatness with little to no effort. They feel they deserve to be with a good girl while making no effort to earn her heart. They're intellectually dishonest and tend to be misogynist. These are generalizations, but I've never met a, quote, good guy worth building a life with. Damn. Every time a man advertises himself as a good guy, he is signaling his worthlessness and saying, hey, I have absolutely no value to add to your life, but you should waste your time on me anyway because I have a dick and that makes me special. They're always the ones wondering.
I'm sorry.
Stay with me. It's pretty long. They're always the ones wondering why women love to fuck the, quote, bad boys who treat us like shit without ever figuring out that there is no such thing as a, quote, good guy or a bad guy. Those are just the categories that entitled men use to make excuses for why they're not getting what they really want. If you're one of the, quote, good guys, I only have one question for you. What is so good about you? At the end of the day, you're going to have to admit that any woman of average or above average beauty is getting hit on multiple times a day, wherever she goes, even if all she's doing is existing. What are you doing to set yourself apart from the 76 other men who have already hit on her that day? Being a good guy is awesome, but it should be its own reward. You are owed nothing for it.
Damn.
It's harsh.
Yeah, that was, yo. So, man, hold on. That's a lot to gather on. So I gotta say, I actually don't disagree with her on all of it. I really don't disagree with her on all of it. I don't agree with all of it either. So typically, right? So the whole "I'm a good guy" mentality came through because of women, right? So and it's a cycle, right? There's there's a cycle, right? So a female tries to get with guys, she ends up with pieces of shit ass dudes, right? And then they treat her wrong, then she say, we're the good guys, right? So then she gets the good guys, right? The guy who's a little bit more sensitive, less exciting to talk to, blah 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 blah, right? She gets that and it's not what she wanted. She's like, yo, this dude fucking sucks. I hate this. I hate everything about this guy. he's boring as shit. It's like talking to one of my female friends. If I wanted to talk to a female friend, I'd talk to a female friend, right? So then they realize that that's not what they fucking wanted. So then they cheat on them, leave them, say they're bored with them, or just stick it out and be completely miserable, right? So then
dying inside.
Yeah, dying inside. So then they go back to what they wanted in the past, right? So they go back to wanting the bad guy, right? And then from that point forward, like all these good guys are like, yo, we conform to what you wanted. Now you don't want it anymore. What the fuck? You post on your Facebook page, right? Talking about, I want a guy who's sensitive. I want a guy who will cake with me. I want a guy who will cuddle up with me all night, all that kind of shit. And then you get a guy like me who like, man, fuck all that, yo. I do what the fuck I want. And the chick fuck with me. Right? So then the dude who's like the good guy, she's like, yo, fuck this dude. I'm gonna go fuck with this other dude. He's exciting to talk to. He do fun shit. Like just all of the stuff that she was saying, right?
He wrestles gators.
Yeah, he wrestles gators. He goes to Thailand and shoot fucking chicken out of cages for tigers and shit. So they just generally like enjoy that more because it's a more thrilling thing, because humans like thrilling things. But the issue that comes with the guys like that is they usually do have more to offer, right? So then there's the cycle on the other side where you get those guys who like, I know what I'm worth. Like, I make a lot. So I use myself as an example, right? I'm not going to say like I'm the most attractive dude, because I'm not. But I have a working functioning brain, right? So I'm not a dumbass. I have a good career. I make a lot of fucking money. And like you're gonna have a good time around me. Like I'm talkative. I'm not one of those people that you're around me and it's just gonna be like quiet awkwardness. So with that being said, yeah, that's what I
hate small talk.
Yeah, no, but see, the thing is with you, anytime I've seen you around people, like anytime we've both been around people, one of us is the life of the party, me or you. Like, one of us is gonna have everybody's attention. Like, so with that being said, like, you get all of that, and we end up knowing our worth. We know that, hey, I mean, you can go and fuck with these other broke dudes or something like that, but I'm out here getting money and doing what the fuck I want and telling y'all I do what the fuck I want and saying, yo, I'm about to go out here and F these H's, bruh. And females still fuck with me. So why would I pander to these females, right? So then there's that cycle, right? So then, like, there's a cycle, not internally. So with us, it's externally. You get the cycle of going through the bad guys with the good guys, right? And it's just like, it never ends. It never ends, because nobody wants something that's static. Nobody wants something that's consistent in a way that they got it for the rest of their life. It's just not exciting. Like, who wants that? Like, I mean, I've met people who have, but it's not a common thing. It's not. I don't think it's a very human thing to want what you had in the beginning. Like, look at anywhere in nature, right? Like, animals migrate. Mind you, like, that's sometimes it's like for weather conditions, but like, think about how humans got across the entire planet. Like, we were like, okay, Africa's good conditions, we're good here, but let's go and migrate up to Northern Europe where it's cold as fuck. And then there's others that migrated up into the mountains and shit through the Middle East and Asia, and then there's other ones that cross the waters down to the like Polynesian islands and stuff like that. You know, so like, humans and animals, we don't like the same things all like for our entire lives or for long periods of time. So we end up migrating, moving, or seeking things that are new and exciting. I always call it that humans like new shiny things. So I kind of went for a minute on that. Go ahead though. What do you think?
No.
What were you and your boys saying?
Oh, my boys were like roasting that shit, yo. They were like, yo, this. I know, I can actually agree with some of the comments. One dude was like, tag me in that shit. I was like, he was like, I'm about to blast. I was like, please don't do that. And then my boy Zoe said he want to see some females. He want to hear some females defend that shit. What about Zoe? My boy Corey said, yo, man, if she don't get her looking ass on, she was like, she had to be a. My boy Corey said she was a slum buster.
Oh shit! The hard.
He said Oh no, I ain't gonna. He said I need names. My boy Cardi said she was an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's always multiple views on it, because like at the same time, it's like the way I look at it at a certain point is, okay, this is what you asked for years. You wanted the good guy.
What equates being a good guy with being boring? Now I get where I agree with her is I always watch out for people who advertise what they are. Right? I think I made a comment on it the other day. I said, watch out for those loyal people who are always telling you how loyal they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? If you're it, you're just it.
And people will know that.
Right? I think I'm a good guy.
Okay.
I think I have the potential to be a nice guy. I have never got a woman that I wanted by being a nice guy. I can say that much. Because like you said, it's the cycle. I have never walked up to a woman and been like, hi, how are you doing? My name's Malcolm.
Right. You
look very nice today. Can I take you out for a cup of coffee? And that actually like materialized into anything.
Hold on,
when I was a
complete
savage.
Hold on. You talking about Luke Cage coffee or?
No, I know.
I'm fucking with you.
You know what? We can have my dating theory. We can have a conversation on that later.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna jot that down. Dating, and I'm gonna put why nexting, something I call nexting in quotes, is important in dating.
I can already see what nexting is.
Yeah. But it's not a bad thing. It's the way you execute it that makes it a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Because, long story short, there's nothing wrong with dating a lot of people, right?
Right.
For a guy, contrary to what you're told, you got to go through a bunch of people to know what you like.
Right.
But it's the way you go about going through those bunch of people. But that's neither here nor there for now, right? Now, advertising myself, hey, I'm a good guy. Like, I don't do that, but I think that I'm a good guy, and I have the capacity to be a nice guy. Depending on how bad I want something, I can make I can be what I need to be to, and that's human nature, right?
Yeah, I'm adapting
to get the outcome that I want, right? But like you said, it's a cycle, man. And it's so funny, man. I think I'm done with this one.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm just gonna end up rambling, but that what that did was that triggered a topic that we're gonna touch on another episode, maybe the next one, maybe the one after. It depends on how long our convo with Mitch goes and if he wants to go into that territory with us.
Oh man, if we talk to Mitch about this.
Oh yeah, you know about the Mitch line and man, it's so much good stuff.
Oh man, yo. Mitch, all right, yeah, we'll just leave that for then. Yo, Mitch's dating life is interesting, at least. That's
let him tell it.
That's the least you can say about it.
We'll let him tell it.
Yeah, fucking.
But yeah, she's absolutely right, man. Like I've never got a girl that I felt like worth expending energy on by being a nice guy.
Yeah, me either. I don't think I've ever even really got a girl from just like a pickup line or some shit like that. Maybe once with this Hispanic girl I was messing with when I was in San Diego, but it was because I was really fucking drunk. She said I used a pickup line, but I didn't think I did. I was like, I don't do shit like that. Like I don't even know to like, I don't ask people out on dates or anything like that. I just talk to humans like they're human, yo. Like, I meet people, I fucking just talk to them, and then eventually I'm like, yo, you trying to go get something to eat? All right, let's go. And that's just me. Like, I just treat all humans like they're humans. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Maybe I'm weird. I think I'm weird. But yeah. All right, so we've been going for a minute now. I'm mad Roberta.
Let's rap.
Yeah, I'm mad Roberta missed the beginning of it because we had some like real political stuff that we talked about. I would have liked you to hear, but we will be. I will be posting the video on YouTube afterwards for those who missed it. You
can drop comments after the fact, and we can come back and address them.
Oh no. So I get rid of the live stream once we're done. Well, it's still there, but I hide it from everybody. So then everybody can just watch the one. So you don't have to choose between which one you want to watch. Do I want to watch the upload or do I want to watch the live stream? That's what I'm saying.
Like the upload, you can drop comments on the upload.
Oh yeah,
the parts. That,
okay, my bad. Yeah,
we could touch on that. That's what I mean. I'm sorry.
All right, so as usual, we'll be back next Wednesday morning for you guys in America. It's night and afternoon for us. Next Wednesday morning, and what else we got? Like we said, we'll have another person on. We'll have a third person on if he can make it. He's already said he will. He was one of the founding.
He has to make it.
Yeah, he's one of the founding fathers of this. Where we started it, where this all came from. He was a part of that, so it'll be good to have him back to talk to him again. And I haven't seen him in almost a year now. It's coming up on a year. I haven't
seen him in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been half a year since I've seen him, so it'll be good to catch up with him. And as always, if you like the channel, if you like what you heard today, subscribe, like the video once I post it and you see it, and yeah, like our Facebook page and follow it, share it with other people if you don't mind. So on that end, we'll wrap it up. Have a good day, guys.
Hey, y'all too. Check out the upload and take it easy. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Peace.